After a week hiatus, I have returned. And I got a lot of shit to say. So, we're going to get to it right now. Hello. Welcome everybody to the show. What is this, episode 63, 64? Smells like Wrasslin. Hello, greetings to everybody. After a week hiatus, I do apologize. Real life job got in the way, so I could not commit, and I completely forgot that was my schedule. So that was my bad. All right, we got a lot of shit to discuss. All right, a lot's gone down. I got people that I gotta shit on because it's just the wrestling community is just full of fucking idiots. So I can't just sit here and not say anything. I gotta speak up. So we got a lot to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about all the bullshit first. Get all that out of the way. I'll get that out of my system. Then we'll talk about Dynamite. All right. So number one, last week was the official announcement of AEW Collision. Saturday nights. I think the first episode is June 17th, okay? Now, at the time, we did not know where that June 17th show would be. It was greatly speculated that it was going to be Chicago, and I was going to have the return of CM Punk, all right? Then shit hit the fan. This fucking moron goes on Instagram and just starts ranting about, I don't even know what the fuck, all right? He's talking shit about Alvarez and all this nonsense, all right? First off, you're a grown-ass man, all right? You're a grown-ass man on Instagram airing these grievances. The second you do that, I have zero respect for you, all right? Zero, all right? You handle your shit like a teenage girl, you deserve to be fucking bitched at by everybody. So, that already right off the bat pissed me off, all right? Every single time I'm about to feel good about AEW, this motherfucker from Chicago pops up and just starts saying some bullshit that annoys me. All right? I don't care what's going on with him and Alvarez. I do not care. All I want is good wrestling and good storytelling. All right? Now, if this motherfucker could keep his shit together and be on television and play nice with others, you know who's going to win? Us, the fans. I'm going to get to see awesome shit that I want to see. Good feuds with Punk and good wrestling matches. I'm finally getting the one thing that I've been begging to have ever since this podcast started, which was more television time for AEW, because all of you out there know that there are people that are suffocating out there. suffocating inside that locker room and that they just can't get any momentum going because there's just not enough time. And Rampage, let's be honest, is booked as an afterthought. So now there's another live show that people could sink their teeth into. I want to see, guys like Miro. I want to see more matches with Danielson. I want to see substantial feuds being built up, substantial challengers and title feuds and blood feuds and all that shit. All right? Do I think Tony could handle 5 hours of television and booking all of it? No, I don't think so. Because it's evident right now he could barely handle the 2 hours that he gets with the roster that he has. I'm only hoping that this extra, palette that he could work with changes and turns the tide and makes stuff better. Otherwise, I still think he needs to get more bookers, all right? More bookers and guys that could actually give time and attention to people that you and I like, that we feel deserve better. You know what I mean? So now there's this whole back and forth like, well, is he going to be a part of Collision? Is he not going to be a part of Collision? There was talk about Ace Steel, who, let's be honest, Ace Steel is not the hill to die on, all right? He really fucking isn't. I had no idea who this motherfucker was until he popped up and someone was like, it's Ace Steel! I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? No idea. None. I don't see any value in him, whatever. So all I know is that as of tonight, it's been booked for Chicago. So the grand assumption is that it's going to be the return of Punk. Do I think the return of Punk is a good thing? That's a loaded fucking question. I mean, let's look at the pros and the cons. All right, the pros are it's CM Punk. He's one of the biggest names in the industry. He brings a lot of eyes to the product. If you're a fan of AEW, if you want their business to be successful, a coherent and non-crazy CM Punk is good for business. All right? If he could come here and do what he claimed to do 1 year ago in Chicago, when he said he wanted to elevate the young talent, and he wanted to do all this, and he wanted to help wrestling. If he could do that, I'm all in, man. I am all in. Whatever's good for wrestling, I'm happy with, no matter what shape or form or person it comes in. All right? Let's look at the cons. For some reason, ever since he came back, he's kind of been a little bit of a fucking lunatic. All right? I still have no idea what the fuck he was talking about at the All Out Scrum. No idea why he got into a fight with the Bucks, why people are getting bitten, why his dog is running around, and why we were introduced to Ace Steel, the whole thing with the muffins, all that shit. Then the subsequent shit that he's been saying on Instagram regarding wrestling media. And let's put it out there right now. Wrestling media and wrestling journalism out there, like the guys who get these scoops, all a bunch of fucking jokes. All right, I'm sick and fucking tired of them. All right, I have more respect for the fans like myself who just come out here and just, comment on the product as fans like any other podcaster would do for any other fucking after show on any other television show. At the end of the day, we're fans of a television show. And we're going to talk about all the stories and the ups and the downs. But you know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. Let's be real. You look at the Wrestling Observer, you got guys like Brian, you got guys like Dave. Brian doesn't even watch television, all right? The only storytelling that he knows is within pro wrestling and whatever kid stuff he watches because he's a dad. Why the fuck would I be listening to anybody about storytelling from a guy who only watches one art form medium, all right? You know how many television shows I watch and movies? I watch a wide variety of it. Why? Because I'm a fan of the art of storytelling. All right. In particular, I'm a fan of the art of storytelling told through the lens of professional wrestling. All right. But I love my comic book movies. I love my action movies, my drama, all that stuff. Television shows, movies, comic books, books. I'm all about the story and the way a story can transcend and take someone to someplace where they never thought possible in terms of emotion in the wrestling ring or in a way of thought, all of that stuff, all of it. All right. And you can't tell me that you know what's good storytelling. You only watch fucking wrestling. All right? I don't want to hear it. Dave, lunatic. Lost the plot a long time ago. He's a great wrestling historian, sure, but I don't listen to him at all when it comes to opinion about wrestling. The only opinion about wrestling I care about is my fucking own. Why? I'm the consumer. I'm the one who's spending my time and money on it. So yeah, I'm going to be concerned with my opinion. All right? And it's just like, I don't know what it is, but now that they're, it's just, I don't care for them. I don't care for them. You got guys like Sean Ross Sapp. All they're doing is just throwing, just the lowest common denominator of moron on the internet and just retweeting them and just going like, oh, you're an idiot. Look at this guy. Yeah, you look, yeah, real tough, bro. You retweet morons. Probably half of them aren't even real. And that's your way of just getting clout on the internet aside from scoops. I don't give a shit. I don't respect it. At fucking all. At all. Alright? Oh yeah, and Jordan's opinion also is really the only other ones I care about. My own, Jordan's, that's it. Oh, and then you got wrestling like fans like myself who run podcasts, all right? And all you motherfuckers who were just like, oh, Roman, Roman winning, he should win, definitely. It shouldn't be Cody, he needs to earn it. You need to have Roman win. You need to have Roman win. You all are fucking morons, because now look what's going on. Just random fucking bullshit on Monday Night Raw. Just Cody and Brock are just murdering each other, and Roman's just doing nothing. Now he's going after the tag titles. It's just ridiculous. All of you guys who said that Roman should have won the title at Mania, look what happened now. You're wrong. I'm fucking right. I called that shit down the middle well before Mania. I said Cody needs to win. That's all there is to it. Him leaving for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, getting his pec torn, coming back, winning the Rumble. Was that not enough of a struggle and a story for Cody to win the title? Then now we got to have it on Roman. Now we have no idea who's going to win the title, because I don't even know what's going on with the this new third bout that they made. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So all you fucking other podcasters out there who said that it was Roman was a good idea to win the belt, fuck you. Idiots. Unbelievable. You guys are all eating shit now. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the lack of professionalism in professional wrestling. All right? People going online, airing their fucking grievances. Punk is not a professional wrestler anymore. All he does is act unprofessional. All right? And then when he's not acting unprofessional, he's getting fucking injured. Motherfuckers like the Derrick Rose of wrestling. Dude's always fucking injured. But when he's not injured, he's great. When he's not injured, he's great. When he's not injured, he comes off the bench and gets a standing ovation in fucking Madison Square Garden. Oh, Jordan, don't even get me started on fucking JD. He was one of the people who said, oh yeah, Roman should win at Mania. All right? I get that he admitted that he was wrong, but come the fuck on, man. Like, you were one of the loudest proponents of what was going on with Roman was bullshit. Now Cody finally comes in. You finally have a guy built up enough, not tainted by Roman, that could win the title. And now look where we're at. If I ever found out that was a change because they were listening to fans like that, I will fucking be mortified. I would be embarrassed to be a fan. Embarrassed. I cannot believe it. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Wrestling media, a bunch of fucking jokes. The fans have lost their shit. You know, the only sensible fans I know now are ones that I talk to in person. The second you're online, you've lost it. You know, behind a Twitter account or whatever the fuck. Like, if I can't see you and I can't talk to you voice to voice, I don't give a shit. It is just unbelievable. All right? We are in one of the best times in pro wrestling in terms of the amount of content, the amount of star power that's out there, the amount of booking opportunities we could get. Just in AEW alone, with their partnerships with New Japan. All right? That enough is awesome. The only last forbidden door is anyone crossing over to WWE and actually holding on to a belt. I think the last person who even did that was Mickie fucking James at the Royal Rumble. She was actually introduced as the Knockout Women's Champion. That was the closest anyone ever got to the forbidden door in the WWE. But it's just, I'm sick of it. I just want wrestling to be great, and we're on the precipice of that now. If Tony could get his shit together and book Collision correctly, there's going to be another great, like, I missed that spark in AEW. You know what I mean? Like, that spark was there, and then it was growing too big for the house that it was caged in. You know what I mean? And now we finally have enough room. Let's just get back to business. You know what I mean? Let's get back to some great wrestling, all right? Punk, shut the fuck up and just fucking wrestle, all right? You have any problems with anybody? I don't want to know about it. I don't care. All right? Fucking call them. Knock on their door, all right? Sit down and have a coffee with them. What was with that whole, my door's always open bullshit? If your door is always open, why the fuck are you going on Instagram and acting like a bitch all the time? You're a grown-ass fucking man, all right? You're a grown-ass man who's supposed to be a tough guy on television. And you're on Instagram crying about other podcasters? Don't you have better things to fucking do? Unbelievable. You would have thought that all the money you made, you know, I thought that chip on your shoulder was gone, bro. It's time to grow up. If you can't do that, fucking stay gone. You made your money. Do whatever the fuck you want. You know, write comics, do commentary for MMA, you know, hang out with those bands that you like, run around with that fucking dog of yours. You know, like, I don't care. Have some kids, do something. But I don't need your bitching and fucking moaning in my form of entertainment, in my form of escapism. You're poisoning my goddamn well. WrestleMania, you guys are a joke. Half of you guys at those scrums don't even belong there. Why don't you ask some real fucking questions about, you know, from Tony, all right? There are actual serious fans out there who have some questions about the business that they like to be answered, and there's no other media opportunities out there aside from these media scrums and the random times that they're going to pop up on a podcast that ends up just being a podcast that gets pre-approved anyways, that there are no real questions being answered. You know what I mean? Like, let's put the guy in the hot seat. Let's let there be some accountability in AEW. All right? Especially from the fans. If you have a media pass, you're no longer just a fan like myself and a podcaster. At that point, you have a responsibility as a journalist to ask real questions and get real truth for the people who care. And if you can't do that, stay the fuck at home and do this like how I do it. I'm not going to any media scrums. That's it. All right? I want nothing to do with that. I'd rather just enjoy it as a fan. All right? You better pray to God the day doesn't come where I feel like, I guess I'm going to have to do this myself. All right? And then go to the media scrums and ask real questions. Hey, maybe I'll only last for one pay-per-view. They're going to be like, fuck this guy. But hey, there you go. Then that'll be a prime example of what kind of company AEW really is. But no one wants to leap on that grenade. I got nothing to lose. Fuck, I got only like 8 viewers right now. I don't give a fuck. All right? I will go there and I will do the shit that I need to do. But it's like, Jesus Christ. You know, if you're going to have these scrums, do something with it. You know, have your PR guy come out there and let people know, hey, this is a worked press conference. Keep the questions, you know, in terms of storyline, blah, blah, blah. I mean, all of them are fans. They should know enough how to play the game. Or they'd be like, hey, listen, you can ask real questions. They're going to be answered honestly and truthfully and blah, blah, blah. Great. Just clear the line in the sand. But when you got like little kids there, like Izzy, and just like random fucking nobodies, just like, oh, well, so how do you feel about the weight of the title? Fuck you. All right, get the fuck out of there. Stay on your couch at home. All right, don't waste my goddamn time. Jesus. You know, I'm gone for a week and then shit hits the fan. Am I the only person who could do this professionally? Am I the only one? Jesus. By the way, announcement, being that there's going to be another show confirmed, another 2-hour live show, we're going to expand too. So I will have an after show for Dynamite on Wednesdays, 10 o'clock. All right? And that's going to cover Dynamite and it's going to cover Monday Night Raw. And if NXT becomes something worthwhile, we'll talk about NXT. Saturday, we will cover Collision and SmackDown. And that show will air a couple of minutes after Collision goes off the air. So the channel is expanding by just nature of necessity. Because I don't want to fit that many shows in once a week. And as luck would have it, I have off every Saturday, so it's something I could actually commit to. So yes, more of the show, Saturday nights, Wednesday nights, right here on this channel, Smells Like Wrasslin. Tell your friends, tell whoever, the channel's expanding. And yes, the changes are in place to change the format and the setup of the podcast. I want this podcast to stand out from all the other podcasts in the community. They all kind of look and do the same thing. I'd like to do something a little bit different. So in the coming months, God willing, everything will be set up and you're going to see a brand new format for the podcast and how we interact with you and how you interact with me, how this is shot, how this is edited and produced and put together. All that is going to change. So stay tuned. Lots of changes coming to the channel in the very near future. All right, so I've already I've gotten all this shit off my chest finally. Let's talk about tonight's Dynamite. So tonight's Dynamite. Oh, and did Roddy Strong debut last? No, Roddy Strong didn't debut. Roddy Strong debuted 2 weeks ago. He fought Jericho last week. Okay, that match was fucking awesome. I would have bet that Roddy was gonna lose because I didn't think Jericho was going to win. But the way that they booked it was awesome with them fighting outside the arena and then Jericho getting jumped by Cole because the stipulation was only that they were banned from the arena. So once they stepped outside, it was open game. And that's how Roddy won. I thought that was awesome. Roddy Strong is one of the best wrestlers out there. Like for me right now, it's fucking Gargano, right? Roddy. Best. The other ones, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But top two, right there for me. Professional wrestlers out there. Gargano, Roderick Strong. I might add, like, you know what I would say? I would add into my top five Adam Cole, Kenny Omega. And then probably the fifth one would be Danielson. Right now, in terms of, like, active wrestlers. I mean, that's a freaking... Killers. Killers. Murderer's row of pro wrestlers. All right, so here we go. So we got 3 titles on the line tonight. We got Orange Cassidy defending the international title against one half of Aussie Open, who has officially signed with AEW. I'm really excited about that because that tag team is awesome. The matches they could have with the Bucks, the matches they could have with the Lucha Brothers, the tag team division in AEW is so stacked right now. And by default, the tag team division in Ring of Honor is also stacked. I just want there to just let these divisions breathe. I want Collision to allow to start showcasing like the multi-man divisions a little bit more. Maybe save Dynamite for like TNT, International. Save it for all the singles titles. I don't know. I honestly don't know how they're going to book it. There's been talks of there being 2 separate rosters. I'm not sure what belts are going to be on what channels, who's going to be on what channels, who's going to be on what shows. I'm not sure. We're going to find that all out together. Because right now, I think it's all speculation. Whatever you hear right now, I wouldn't take it as gospel truth. Just wait until it actually happens at this point, honestly. Just wait until it actually happens. But this is the time to let these divisions breathe and let some awesome shit happen. We have the Lucha Brothers putting the ROH tag belts on the line against Blackpool Combat Club members Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. We have Lady Frost and Taya Valkyrie. We hear from Ricky Starks. We're going to hear from FTR. We're going to hear from all 4 of the pillars. There's a contract signing between Jericho and Cole. Daniel Garcia versus Roderick Strong. House of Black puts their belts on the line against Blake Christian, AR Fox, and Metalik. And Tony Khan announces the first location of Collision, which we've already talked about. It's going to be at the United Center in Chicago. So the show starts off, as per usual, it starts off with Orange Cassidy. He seems to be the guy that they want to showcase right off the top of the bat. They want Jefferson Starship playing right off the bat. They want Jane playing. They want Orange Cassidy out there with his pop and his look with a belt and putting on a great match. And I'm telling you this right now, the matches that Orange Cassidy's been putting on with his international title, I feel like I've been sleeping on them. And now just looking at the body of work, like he's been having great matches with that international belt every week. You know what I mean? Every fucking week he's been having great matches. And the match that he had with Kyle Fletcher was awesome. All right? Ever since he started getting into these matches where like he's been trying to kind of fight back from some sort of injury or some sort of handicap. All of his matches have been fantastic. Orange Cassidy's putting on one hell of a run. I'm enjoying the title reign. I would hope that this is elevating the belt in the eyes of the fans. I think when a guy puts on great matches with a belt, it actually means that it makes the belt worth something. It starts to start building that question. Who's going to take the belt off of this guy? This guy's fantastic. And then whoever takes the belt off of him, that's the one where you're just like, wow, this guy must be something. He took the belt off of Orange Cassidy. That's what pushes are called. That's what's called getting people over. That's the purpose of a belt. It's a passing of a torch to allow someone else to elevate in terms of storyline in the eyes of the fans. This is what needs to happen. So I'm very, very curious who's the first person who's going to win that international belt. Orange Cassidy is putting it on the line in a 21-man lumberjack match at Double or Nothing. So it's very possible to protect Orange Cassidy. He loses the belt in that battle royal. I mean, because let's be honest, any sort of tomfoolery could happen in there to protect Orange Cassidy and not make him look like he jobbed out to anybody. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether or not Orange Cassidy is going to win or not. I don't know who is going to be in the battle royal to tell you who I think has a good chance. Now, if it were me, I think it would be cool to have a new international champion and showcase them on Collision. I would hope that international champion is Miro, because his reign as TNT champion as the Redeemer was one of the best TNT reigns that they've ever had. The reign that Miro had, the reign that the late great Brody Lee had was awesome. All the other reigns were kind of meh. I mean, Cody's reign was kind of okay. Darby's reign was kind of cool. But then after that, it kind of got weird. Like, then all of a sudden, Scorpio Sky was a champion for a little bit. Then it was Cody. Then it was Sammy. Then it was Cody. Then it was Darby for a little bit. Then I think they had fucking Samoa Joe as champ, because he was also the ROH television champion. Then he had like the King of Television gimmick. So it's kind of been bounced around for a while. So I'm really kind of hoping that it ends up being Miro, because I felt like he is a very stable champion. He has a good gimmick. He has a good look. He could get people over in the ring, but he's also a big guy. He could dominate everybody. He could be a showcase. So I definitely hope that that's the direction that they're going in. They had been teasing Miro in the commercials for Collision. They've also been teasing guys like Scorpio Sky and Andrade, guys that we haven't seen in a while. They showcased Thunder Rosa. So there's definitely going to be people that we haven't seen in a while, and they're making it kind of known that, hey, listen, guys you haven't seen in a bit, they're going to have a place to shine on Collision. So that's really what I've been hoping for, and I'm hoping everyone else hopes for. A place for more of these awesome wrestlers in AEW to shine on television and booked in a serious fashion. Because let's be real, Rampage is not booked seriously. It's an afterthought. It's basically the taped dark matches of the live shows on national television. Because they got rid of Dark and Elevation, so that really is the dark show. Anywho, great match. I like this Kyle Fletcher guy. I mean, I've seen him wrestle as part of a tag team with Aussie Open, but the singles match that he had with Orange Cassidy tonight was fantastic. This was a great opening to Dynamite. Great match, great opening to Dynamite. The Michinoku drivers that these guys were putting onto each other were fucking insane. I thought Orange Cassidy died like twice. I thought Kyle Fletcher died at least once. Awesome match. Great showcase. I'm extremely excited to see Aussie Open sign with AEW. They're going to have, I'm telling you, the tag team division is so stacked. They just need to have great stories to build up good feuds, to have these guys just go and let it rip. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just enough to have good matches. You have to have that garnish, that dressing, that covering, that sprucing up of a story behind it. You know what I mean? Like, me as a pro wrestling fan, yes, I'm seeing a lot of great professional wrestling and I enjoy it. But there's more to professional wrestling than just the wrestling part. It's the showmanship, it's the stories, it's the storytelling. So, like, that's what needs to start getting pushed a little bit more. That's what needs to be a little bit better with AEW. Let's see. After that, we have FTR. They come out. I have a lot to talk about. A lot of friction's been going on between them and whatchamacallit, like them and Mark Briscoe. You have Jay Lethal and him tagging with Jeff Jarrett, him with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt, trying to, it seems, exploit the friendship that Jay Lethal has with Mark Briscoe to try and get one up on FTR. So this ended up with FTR accidentally package pile driving Mark Briscoe. Mark did not seem to be happy about this at all. FTR attempted to apologize. Mark Briscoe was having none of it. Slaps Dax across the face. He basically is not really on the outs with them, but he was kind of like pretty much like, like fuck you. Whatever's going on, I'm sick of being stuck in the middle of it. He slaps Jarrett, goes over to Jay Lethal, who is really the person who's known Mark the longest. And it's just like, listen, man, I like you. I love you. I trust you. You're my brother. But this bullshit has to stop. So he's hoping at the end that it's Jay Lethal that kind of breaks this whole cycle and gets shit done with. What I'm assuming is going to happen is this is the signal to the breakup of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And maybe Jay Lethal actually going face and Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh and that group does their own thing. Which would kind of be cool because with the new show Collision, I'd like to see a little bit more of a singles Jay Lethal. I think he's good with the team, but let's be real, like that group that's there, it's like a kind of like a comedy heel tag team, you know what I mean? You got Jeff Jarrett, he's the old timer, and then you got Sanjay Dutt, who's doing all the comedy, and you got Satnam Singh, who's the big monster, whatever. But I think like if you're gonna put Jay Lethal in in like a group, I would hope it's a more serious one. And he's doing more serious shit. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Renee Paquette's backstage with Sammy. Renee says as much as she hates MJF, she was asked to relay a message to Sammy from MJF, saying that the deal is still on for Sammy to lay down for MJF. I kind of thought that the whole storyline was kind of bullshit. And then, Sammy and MJF like pretending to be friends. I thought it was a little bit overbooked. They should have just had them all keep their regular gimmicks. Let Sammy be a heel, but hate fucking MJF. Let the baby faces be baby faces and just book it that way. But instead, they did this whole thing where, like, he was cozying up to MJF, and then he realizes MJF is a scumbag, and now he's cutting babyface promos, and now we're supposed to kind of view him as a babyface in comparison with how fucking much of a heel MJF is. I don't know. Like I said, a little overbooked. So Sammy's like, no, I'm not going to lay down, blah, blah, blah. Cuts a babyface promo, and that's the end of that. To be honest, to me, the most over guy aside from MJF in that group is Darby. And I think Darby is the only guy who really did it on his own. I mean, Sting was around, but it was Darby's matches that he was doing that was really putting him over. Darby was still going out there and putting awesome singles matches out there and getting decent pushes. And he's a 2-time TNT champion. Aside from MJF, he's the only other person who held titles. And not to mention, Darby was the first one out of the 4 to hold a belt. Because MJF hasn't held any belts except for this AEW title. The whole, Dynamite Diamond Ring thing doesn't count. So, I think out of all these 4 guys, I think Darby is in the most prime position to be the guy to beat MJF. Do I think it's going to happen at Double or Nothing? No, nor it should. I think MJF should have a long title reign. He should have like a title reign that's kind of like Roman Reigns, except not for a million years. Like I say, like close to a year title reign for MJF, I think is good. I think his title reign and his contract ending should all have a big culmination, and it's either going to put over the next big top babyface, or it's going to show that MJF is here to stay. So, I think in the end, it will be Darby, but I don't think it's going to be Darby this year. I think Darby's going to end up being the champion sometime in 2024, taking it off of MJF, because regardless of whether or not MJF re-signs with the company, the only thing I could think of if he does re-sign with the company is that maybe his title reign gets extended a little bit longer. Maybe he ends up having like a 1.5 year long title reign, and it's Darby that takes it from him at like All Out. So I'm not really too sure. Maybe Darby's the one who snatches 2 years off of him. So I'm not sure. I think that Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy are a little ways off from being put in that position. I think outside of Darby, Sammy's the closest to being ready for a title run. He's actually had the TNT title already. I think he was a 2-time TNT champion. And to be quite honest, I think he could have had a really good reign, but I think the booking for the TNT title after Cody left was all fucked up. And I really don't think it's his fault. And then there was a fact of him marrying Ty, and then the fans turning on him and all that bullshit, which to be quite honest, who wouldn't have married Ty? She's a snack. So, like, props to Sammy for marrying her. And listen, like, the kid's like 20 something years old. He thought he was going to marry someone. He decided not to. Now he found this chick. Why wouldn't he fucking marry her, right? She's a wrestler. She's part of the life, and she's a smoking hot Brazilian who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Get the fuck out of here. You see that Instagram? Jesus. Woo! Anywho. So, House of Black. I kind of like the idea of their open house thing. I just don't think that the gimmicks are of the whole, open house rules are presented in the best way. All right. So the rules are like, there's no rope breaks, but the opposing team could pick a stipulation. All right. So tonight, the stipulation was 1 man in, 1 man out, no tags. So let's say you're in the ring with somebody. You roll out of the ring. One of your teammates could hop in, and now they're the legal man. I mean, you're fighting against Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Malachi Black. If I had to do a stipulation, it'd be a stipulation where, like, I get to bring a gun. I'm handcuffing all their legs together. They all have to wear eye patches. Something fucking insane. Not, I'm gonna 1 man in, 1 man out. And also, like, come on, best friends. Like, they really didn't, like, this was one of the first matches that they were going to showcase the gimmick. And I just felt like for best friends to forget it and it to be an afterthought and they just promote it right before the match starts wasn't a good way to showcase, like, these match gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like, I like the pure, the pure wrestling rules and the pure title because I like that has a very particular set of rules. And I felt like they were onto something with these open house rules. It's just not being presented properly. And I'm hoping that their trios title reign lasts long enough for this gimmick to kind of catch on, and they could actually do that every once in a while. You know what I mean? Or maybe like at the end of a feud, they're like, we're going to have this feud, but we're going to do open house rules or some shit. That would be cool, but they got to start promoting these stipulations a lot better. House of Black beats Blake Christian, Metalik, and AR Fox. Not gonna lie, it was a pretty quick match, and I felt like a lot of it was kind of in the commercial break, but, you know, it was just another match to show that House of Black is dominating the trios division. The only real other trio that I see that they've been building up is the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. So I'm assuming that's going to be the next big challenge for House of Black. Do I expect those three to take the trios belts? No, because I think that's bad booking. I don't think the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass should be taking the belt off, the trios belts off of House of Black. I think what House of Black is owed in terms of a good trios title reign, and what the fans of the trios division are owed is a serious trios tag team to kind of make their way up and challenge them and have a great match and have them lose to House of Black, and then you build up like one more to actually have them take the belts. So what House of Black needs is like two serious, well-built trios teams to kind of cap off their reign. They need like they need a good Act 2 title defense and then a good Act 3 title vacate, and they drop it and they lose it to somebody. And then I think you would say, I think that would be fair to say that they were given a fair shake and a solid reign. 4 pillars were supposed to come together and like get in each other's faces. MJF was the first one out. He immediately went to the commentary table, grabbed the drink, and threw it in Shivani's face, which I thought was hysterical. MJF went to the ring. He says they call this Sin City, but it should be called Virgin Vegas. He says he wants Sammy Guevara's tongue to get stuck in a light socket because Sammy's always like sticking his tongue out. He says he hopes Darby Allin climbs Mount Everest with his shoelaces untied. That was kind of lame and stupid. I don't know what the fuck. And Jack Perry to get thrown into an echo chamber so he could listen to himself talk and bore himself to death. I gotta tell you guys right now, Jungle Boy has like the personality of like a warm glass of milk. It just is not doing anything for me. Even the feud that he had with Christian, it was just someone, to me, it just looked like someone playing pretend tough guy. Someone who just wasn't comfortable. The whole fucking storyline was him being uncomfortable, being a badass. He just didn't want to take Christian out. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. That's how you're going to put over Jungle Boy, with him just being like, I don't want to hit him, even though he talked about my dad and my mom and my sister, and he took my best friend, and he betrayed me, and he cost me title shots, and I still don't want to hit him. Fuck you. How could you make, I can't take that seriously. I can't take that seriously. He's a guy who's a pretend tough guy. He needs to be booked and written better. He needs to be coached better on how to deliver his lines. I mean, Christian is so good at promos and on the mic. How did none of that rub off on Jungle Boy? I mean, has he gotten better? Yes. So I guess you could give props to Christian for that. But I mean, come on, man. He's just a pretend tough guy. Sammy, I just feel like I think he's great and I think he has potential. I just think that, like, he has booking ADD. They book him as a face. They book him as a heel. They don't really put him in major feuds. He's not really, like, he really doesn't really have any major feuds with anybody. You know what I mean? So it's just like, there's no chance for his character to develop. Like, he's just Sammy Guevara. You know what I mean? Darby, we know he's a risk taker. He never gives up. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's like the anti-MJF. Like, he's teammates, with Sting. He's super resilient. He gets put through tables. He has a beating. Like, he gets taken. He could take a beating. Sammy's kind of supposed to be like the Daredevil with some flair. You know what I mean? Like, Darby doesn't have any flair. Darby is action and shock and awe. Sammy could be the Daredevil with some flair, with some pizzazz. You know what I mean? And I feel like Jungle Boy should really be the antithesis, really should be the anti-MJF. The every guy good guy. The guy who plays it straight down the middle by the book. But, like, it just doesn't come off that he believes it. He's just coming off as a nice guy who's trying to be a nice guy. Like, I don't see a good guy who's sure of himself. You know what I mean? Who could get angry and get his hands dirty if he needed to, without crying and moping about it. You know what I mean? That was the shit they did with Cena that I used to hate. He'd be like, I can't do it. Come on, man. It's for fucking professional wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell did you get into this for? Like, what wrestling did you watch that you didn't think that there was going to be a position where you were going to have to pop some guy with a chair? I just don't understand. MJF talked about how, the bidding war 2024, he could take his ball and go home. That is going to be the story. That is going to be the story of the end of his title reign, I think. I think that's juicy fucking television. And the way that they have these marks in wrestling media just salivating over every little crumb of information that flies out of anywhere, they're going to work the fans up into a fucking frenzy. Maybe that's their idea. I don't know. Darby goes into the ring. He said he's lost a lot in his life. After graduating high school, he worked at the 99-cent store. He said that's not what his life was supposed to be like. He said AEW allows him to be who he wants to be. He could skateboard with Tony Hawk. He could crash cars with Travis Pastrana. He could climb Mount Everest, which apparently he's supposed to do next year, so okay. He says he needs to win the AEW title on Sunday, and he will, and he might even do it with a headlock takeover. That's a callback to the feud that MJF and Darby had, in which Darby lost to a headlock takeover. That was, of course, after MJF knocked him out with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So I'm telling you, that's how this whole thing is going to end up. MJF is going to lose the title to Darby Allin with a headlock takeover. Darby's going to hit the, 2 coffin drops and then hit him with the headlock takeover. MJF is, of course, MJF and just kicks Allen in the dick. Sammy Guevara comes out to make the save. MJF jumps out the ring. As he's running out of the ring, he comes face to face with Jungle Boy. He tries to hit Jungle Boy with the belt. Jungle Boy ducks, hits him out, lays him out with a clothesline, takes the belt, lifts it up high. That's your go home, I guess, shot for that particular storyline. 4 pillars match: Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Maxwell Jacob Friedman MJF, Darby Allin, Spanish God Sammy Guevara for the AEW title. They show a video package of Wardlow. He talks about how he knows how Christian is with ladders. He says Wardlow has some experience with ladders also. Arn Anderson basically just says, like, look how much of an animal Wardlow is. Now imagine putting ladder in his hands. So Wardlow versus Christian in a ladder match for the TNT title. That should be interesting. I pray to God Christian doesn't die. Taya Valkyrie defeats Lady Frost. It was an okay match. Obviously, I don't expect Taya to beat Jade. I do think that the next TNT champion, I've been saying it for months, the next TNT champion will be a returning Chris Statlander. I am hoping that she makes her comeback at Double or Nothing, and maybe that's a way to promote Collision by having the title match, undefeated Jade Cargill versus Chris Statlander for the TBS belt. That's what I'm hoping for. Will that happen? We'll see. Tony Khan has his announcement for Collision. He says that the first episode of Collision will happen June 17th at the United Center in Chicago. The crowd obviously started chanting CM Punk. So, again, first episode of Collision, June 17th, United Center in Chicago. That will also be the debut of the second weekly showing of Smells Like Wrasslin, June 17th. And we will be live after Dynamite on Wednesdays and Collision on Saturdays. That will be the new show schedule. Alex Marvez is backstage. He's with Hangman. They ask him about his friendship with Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Hangman says that him and the Bucks were always the best of friends. Him and Omega were different. He views him as family. He says that at Anarchy in the Arena, they're going to pay him blood after they took his eye and Matt's arm and Nick's shoulder and cost Omega, Don Callis. So they're out to kill. They're out to kill. That should be a great match. Adam Cole and Chris Jericho contract signing. Say again, we're going to get Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. That match is going to be awesome. Awesome. It's Chris Jericho, one of the greatest of all time, and freaking Adam Cole, who's also amazing. So, yeah, it's going to be a great match. Roderick Strong, who's also fucking amazing, joins Cole as they head to the ring. Jericho comes with the whole JAS. Shivani said that everyone agreed to no physicality. Jericho puts his feet on the table. Cole immediately signs the contracts. He says for weeks he wondered why Jericho handcuffed him and forced him to watch his girlfriend, which is the former AEW Women's Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, forced him to watch her get beaten by a kendo stick from the Outcasts. Cole said Jericho is a scumbag, and he thinks that he's invincible, and he's going to and on Sunday they're going to find out how invincible Jericho really is. He says it's going to be an unsanctioned match, so the blood isn't going to be on AEW's hands, it's going to be on Adam Cole's hands, and that's the way that he likes it. He says, we're going to find out if he could walk, because I'm going to break his legs, if he could talk, because I'm going to break his jaw, if he could write, because I'm going to break his hands. So hurry up and sign the paper, bitch. That's what he said. Jericho said he's not a bitch, he's not from Vegas. He basically put on the big screen the whole scene from when Britt Baker was getting the shit kicked out of her by the Outcast, and he says to Adam Cole, what kind of man allows that to happen? He said he's going to knock Cole's teeth down his throat. He said he can't beat the Ocho. They signed the contract. And he says there's 5 of them, and there's only Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Cole said he's made a call to someone who's crazy, and it ended up being Sabu. I thought this was stupid, actually. I mean, Sabu's a legend, and all the respect in the world to Sabu. But you mean to tell me, Adam Cole, that out of all the people that you could call to help you out against 5 other people, you call a senior fucking citizen in Sabu to come and help you out? What the fuck is the matter with you? That was the only I just thought it was a dumb decision. It was just a way to, they could have showcased Sabu in any other way. But to be the backup for Adam Cole in an unsanctioned match, I just don't give a shit. Sabu did throw a chair to at Matt Menard's face, and that's it. Video package aired. They were talking about the upcoming women's title match, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Toni Storm goes back to the match in which Jamie Hayter won, saying that the only reason that she won was because of Britt's interference. So now now she's got friends of her own. So Jamie obviously knows that the Outcast is going to be at ringside. So I'm very curious. Well, I fully expect Hayter to retain the belt. I'm just very curious as to who they are going to enlist to help even out the numbers game with the Outcast. Because last I checked, they're outnumbered by 1 person. So, I mean, I guess they're going to maybe get Hikaru Shida, because that was the thing. So, who knows? Roderick Strong defeats Daniel Garcia. Not going to lie, this match was awesome. I was a little bit pissed off that it had a lot of commercials. But still, we were able to see great parts of the match. Roderick Strong is the fucking man. Him having a match with Daniel Garcia was fantastic. It was one of those kind of like dream matches, I guess, low-key. Because Daniel Garcia is a fantastic technical wrestler, and so is Roderick Strong. If they put Roderick Strong out there every week, having great banger, technical matches with other people, and him just chopping the shit out of them and breaking their backs, I'm all okay for that. Give this man a title. Let's see. The main event of the night, Lucha Bros, consisting of Penta, El Cero Miedo, and Rey Fénix, with Alex Abrahantes defeat ROH champion Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta to retain the ROH tag team matches. Great match. Lucha Brothers are an awesome tag team. Obviously, Claudio and Yuta are 2 fantastic wrestlers. Putting on a fantastic tag match. It was the Bucks actually pulling a Hangman and pulling the leg of Wheeler. I think it was Claudio. It was pulling the leg of Claudio, allowing the Lucha Brothers to hit the package pile driver for the victory. That's again sets up the Anarchy in the Arena match between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. Lucha Brothers are a fantastic tag team. I hope they get more chances to shine and being shown that they're a great tag team. Yeah. I'm just hoping that they have a good tag team reign. I'm really looking forward to Anarchy in the Arena. That's pretty much it. That's all I got to say. That's the show. I'm tired. I'm probably going to go to bed. But obviously, we're going to keep on with the Wednesday shows. Next week, Wednesday night, after Dynamite, right here, we'll be talking about what happened after Double or Nothing. We'll be talking about that Dynamite and whatever other important news happens throughout the week. This is your spot right here. Great crowd tonight. Jordan, Process, Doom, Royal, all active in the chat. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get a great turnout next week, because this week was great. Thank you very much, guys, for everything. And I will see you next time. Take care.